Order the meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for Tuesday, April the 7th. I have a few changes to the agenda before I ask you to adopt it. To the regular agenda at 2H, I'm going to ask you to add request permission to use Frank's, Wildman, and Haygood for an additional non-audit service. Under the consent agenda at 3A3, request permission to declare equipment from the Oxford Conference Center as surplus and authorize its disposal. Under travel requests at 3C5, request permission for an employee from the Emergency Management Department to accept the nomination to attend and travel to the State Executive Development Institute on May 17th through the 22nd. At the Stennis Institute of Government at Mississippi State. And then at 3D18, request permission to hire one employee for the Financial Administration Department. And one more for the regular agenda at 5C, request permission to approve a parade assembly permit for Stronger Together Oxford to host the Sustainable Spring Tulip Take-Home event on April 10th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, that will cover all of our changes or additions to the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? A quick mayor's report. We have had the best day today planning for the future of our community. We have been working all day with our partners from the university, from the county, and from the Oxford School District to envision our parks and trails plan, to talk about ways that we can all come together and really find some great ways to move people around our community, not in cars, and to have some more recreation opportunities. So it has been a great day, and we appreciate all of our partners for doing that. If you are interested in what those proposed plans are and want to give input, tomorrow night from 5 to 7 at Circle and Square Brewery, all of our consultants will be there, and some city folks as well, and they will have posters that show all of the different plans that they're proposing, and it's just a laid-back way for you to be able to interact and give input on those things. And I wish some of you students would show up, because we would love to get your input on these parks and trails and places that you wish you could commute on a bike. So join tomorrow night from 5 to 7. We had our Girl Empowerment graduation yesterday, which is one of my favorite things I get to do in this job. So we had 14 fifth graders that graduated yesterday after a semester of learning that kindness is the most important leadership skill, and they got to go to Jackson and see our legislators in action. Okay, one of you students has to answer this question. How many tulips do you think that we plant in the downtown area? Come on. 500. 8,000. I mean, that just blew my mind. We plant 8,000 tulips in the downtown area and 15,000 citywide. I just thought that was amazing. So Nick Matthews, who is our Director of Landscape Management, and Raina Matthews, yes, that's his wife, who works for Environmental Services and Keep America Beautiful, came up with a fabulous idea that we are so excited about. I added the item to the agenda just a minute ago, but I just wanted to make sure everybody heard it. They will be pulling up all of the tulips this week that are around Oxford. And instead of throwing those bulbs away, if you would like to come to the Pocket Park next to City Hall on Friday morning starting at 8, they will be giving away bundles of tulip bulbs. So come and grab some free tulips to plant in your yard, and we'll give them away until we run out. So y'all come and grab them. I think that is it for me for a mayor's report. So let's move to our regular agenda. Request permission to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Aldermen meeting on March 17th.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Request permission to approve the minutes of the special Board of Aldermen meetings on March 23rd and March 31st.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Request approval of the accounts for all city departments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request approval of emergency purchases made as a result of the Winter Storm Fern that occurred January 23rd through the 26th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? And Rhonda, if you'll give us a February 2026 budget report.
Sure. You received the detailed report in your packet. We're tracking along as expected based on the time of year, with the exception, obviously, of the storm expenses. We did receive our first reimbursement from FEMA last week. It was a very small reimbursement, but that was our test to determine how long it was going to take for us to get fundings back. So we were excited about that, and we have some items that are outstanding already that we should be receiving payment back very soon.
Wonderful.
Any questions?
All right. Next, request permission for the mayor to sign and execute the 2025 engagement letter with Butler Snow for disclosure reporting.
Move we approve. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to authorize a drawdown from Trustmark Bank loan in an amount not to exceed $10 million for expenses related to Winter Storm Fern.
This is our emergency loan that we recently executed. This will be the first drawdown that we do to cover outstanding expenses. This would cover any expenses that we have estimated through the end of May. We anticipate, we're still waiting for the governor to do what he's going to do with the state and determine what kind of emergency funding but this will allow us to do a drawdown to cover any outstanding expenses between now and the end of May.
Today was day 5. He
Yeah.
waited about 5 days to pick the bill up once it was passed from both houses, and you have 5 days from when he picks it up to either veto it, sign it, or do nothing. As of today, middle of the day, he had still done nothing on the bill, but if he doesn't sign it at 5 o'clock, it becomes law anyway. So hopefully, it was not vetoed. I've not heard that it was. So hopefully that became law at 5, and then they will turn that over to Horn CPA, who will facilitate that loan program. So we'll be applying for that loan as quickly as we know what the guidelines are and how to do that.
We're sitting on go.
All right, so do we have a motion to grant permission?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, and then the addition, request permission to use Frank's, Wildman, and Haygood for additional non-audit services.
This will allow us to utilize some of their staff as we're transitioning to a new comptroller to help us get the new comptroller up to speed on any particular reconciliations and items of that nature. So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you, Rhonda. I'll ask the board to consider the consent agenda.
Motion to consider the consent agenda as amended. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Chief McCutcheon. Request permission for the mayor to sign a grant modification request for the FY26 405D alcohol and drug impaired driving grant.
That's on consent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, so you're going, why is she doing this?
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm up here,
sorry.
I'll shoot it.
Sorry. Y'all got any questions on that? Never mind, you just
Good.
approved it. Okay, sorry. Regular agenda. Request permission to adopt a retirement resolution for M-Trade Park employee Douglas Ewing. No, come on in. Come on in. Yeah, I'll let you. Yeah. Yes, you may.
So we've, Doug retired January? December. So we've been meaning to get this done, but the ice storm and then when our shop flooded kind of slowed us up. So we're real, thank you for your time and getting this done today. But I had the privilege and honor to work with Doug since 2009. And when I mean he embodies kind of the attitude and the culture of the city employees, I mean, Doug Ewing's it. There were so many times that I'd show up and I'd be like, I have no idea how to do this. And Doug would be like, I'll get it done. And he did just that. Also had the privilege to work with his brother, Donnie, for several years. I remember when we first opened the park, we were out there directing traffic with me, Doug, and Donnie, and we didn't know what we were doing, but just like everything, we figured it out. So I wanted to read this resolution. There'll be a lot of big words, but I think you'll like it. All right, so whereas Douglas Ewing has been a valuable member of the City of Oxford working for M-Trade Park since his hire in 2009, establishing himself as a reliable and valuable resource among his fellow employees, as well as the entire Oxford community. And whereas before working for the City of Oxford, Doug, raised in Oxford, worked for his father, Max Ewing, and then himself as an owner and operator of Ewing Mobile Home Park with his brother, Donnie Ewing. And whereas Doug Ewing has tirelessly and faithfully served the City of Oxford in his capacity as maintenance supervisor with M-Trade Park / FNC Park for 16 years, and whereas Doug Ewing was an integral member in starting the department, FNC Park, currently known as M-Trade Park, and growing the department from its inception to today. And whereas because of his diverse experience, Doug Ewing was the most valuable resource to the City of Oxford and M-Trade Park in saving the taxpayers money with his vast knowledge and skill in heavy equipment, machinery, electrical, and all-around skills. And whereas Doug Ewing was vitally important during the installation of our 14 synthetic turf infields, countless light fixtures, mowing, maintaining turf grounds and common areas, always leading in-house projects at M-Trade Park. Whereas Doug Ewing will be leaving M-Trade Park better than when he began his career here, his fingerprints found in the turf, the buildings, the fields, the trees, and all that he laid his knowledgeable and gracious hands upon, but most importantly, the friendships he made. And whereas Doug Ewing has been a mentor, friend, and the best ice and winter storm worker the city of
Amen.
Oxford has ever seen. In fact, he told me his only regret is that he retired in January, because he'd still be out there.
We talked
still
about
come.
you. We talked about you, Darren.
Whereas Doug Ewing has made an indelible mark on the City of Oxford, its employees, and M-Trade Park, while helping provide the public with a sports facility that is second to none and positively touching the lives of many. Whereas Doug Ewing's legacy will be remembered and celebrated in the years ahead. Lo, therefore, let it be resolved that the mayor and board of aldermen of the City of Oxford express their sincere appreciation and gratitude to Douglas Ewing for his unmatched career in service to the community. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the City of Oxford, and that a copy of the same be presented to Doug Ewing. So, thank you, Doug.
I won't be able to live this down, but do I get a bonus check out of this?
If you promise to show up every time it snows or ices.
I just want to thank all my family and friends, my co-workers, and I thank y'all for giving me the opportunity 17 years ago. It's been a great time, just enjoyed it, but I've outdone, or not outdone, but I survived 3 bosses. I'm on my 4th, was on my 4th. I used to take a nap every lunch break. Well, I hadn't had a nap since I quit, so I guess I'm gonna have to come back. But I do appreciate everything, and thank you so much.
Doug, we, look at that park and just what an asset it is to our community from its inception to where it is today. And it absolutely would not happen without you.
Well,
It just wouldn't. And the Ewing brothers have always been a staple.
Well, my
And-
brother left me.
I know. I asked him on the way in if he had really retired. I expected him to say, no, I've got 4 jobs, but he said he really retired. So I hope you'll retire and take a few naps as well. But we will miss you so much. And don't change your cell phone number.
Now, y'all hired me from here down. So when I come back, it's gonna be from here down, and it'll be a little more money. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Doug. All right, could I have a motion to adopt that retirement resolution?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, Rob Neely. Ask the board to request permission to approve a retirement resolution for Oxford Utilities employee Perry Rogers.
Come on up, Harry.
Come on up here, Perry.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, we want to recognize Perry Rogers for his long-serving tenure here, the City of Oxford and Oxford Utilities, and I want to read the retirement resolution. I've worked
Okay.
with Perry now closely for 7 or 8 years, Perry. It's been a pleasure. He is the director of our wastewater treatment plant and manages all the other satellite plants, but also he's our lab superintendent, which is really leaving a big hole in the enterprise. And so we
Absolutely.
found someone to replace that piece, then we found someone to replace the superintendent piece, and so we're having to hire 2 employees to replace
Perry.
But I'm going to read
believe
his
it.
resolution now, if you'll bear with me, please. Whereas Perry L. Rogers has been an employee of the City of Oxford for over 28 years, establishing himself as a valuable resource who is respected among his fellow workers and throughout the Oxford and Lafayette County community. And whereas Perry L. Rogers, through his dedication, knowledge, and abilities, has excelled while working for the City of Oxford, where he was hired on April 27, 1998, as a wastewater treatment plant operator, was promoted to Chief of Lab Operations in 2003, and has served as lab supervisor and superintendent of the wastewater treatment plant since July 1, 2022. Whereas Perry L. Rogers' comprehensive knowledge of his job and of the Oxford Utilities wastewater treatment system will be deeply missed. And whereas Perry L. Rogers has always shown a willingness to perform any task or project when needed, and whereas Perry L. Rogers has made a mark on the City of Oxford through a commendably high standard of service to his citizenry, characterized by exemplary willingness, patience, and courtesy and respect for the citizens he has served. And now, therefore, may it be resolved that the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Oxford express their sincere appreciation and gratitude to Perry L. Rogers for his dedicated service on behalf of the citizens of the City of Oxford and the community, and extend to him their best wishes for a happy and enriching retirement. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the City of Oxford, and that a copy of the same be presented to Perry L. Rogers on this 7th day of April, 2026. Congrats, Perry.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to take the opportunity to say to the mayor, to the board of aldermen, to Rob, to my wife, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a privilege to work. I love my job. I love science. I love the plant. Thank you all for all that you have done for us.
Perry, thank you for all you've done for us. You know, Perry's kind of the man behind the curtain. Everybody just knows that when they turn their water on, it's safe to drink. Everybody just knows when they flush the toilet that it goes away. And it is. But no, you know, nobody really thinks about the fact that they never have to wonder about their wastewater treatment or about drinking safe water or all those things. And as the mayor, I don't either because of Perry. And those are hard shoes to fill. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate your long hours and your dedication to the safety of our community. We are going to miss you big time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve Perry's retirement resolution?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to accept a bid by reverse auction for equipment for the Environmental Services Department.
There was only one bid that met the requirements, and it's from Tag Truck Center for a Class B chassis with a roll-off body hoist.
Okay?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, Chief McCutcheon. First reading of a proposed ordinance amending Article 20, parades, public assemblies, and special events.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So tonight we had prepared the changes for our parade and assembly ordinance. And our main concern was what led to these amendments. We're talking about primary safety and the traffic congestion and restrictions of access to city and county offices and businesses that we've experienced from large gatherings that are often scheduled at City Hall and the Pocket Park. And as you know, that the Pocket Park is a little more than a sidewalk size in some areas. And when we reach those critical masses, we routinely overflow into the sidewalks or the city streets. And this has led to access issues for both the individuals who want to gather, but also those citizens who are using the downtown facilities and businesses. So our intent in making these changes is not to limit the expression on or near the square, but instead it's intended to tailor our ordinance to contain reasonable measures that have nothing to do with the expression or message of those who want to assemble, but to make sure that our assemblies are safe and to allow access for participants and non-participants alike. Our proposed amendments would continue to follow to allow public assemblies on city property on or near the square, but will also allow us the ability to make determinations when we feel that the size of the assembly meets critical mass, and will give us the opportunity to move those to other publicly accessible places that can easily accommodate gatherings of that size. So we had planned to present the changes this evening for the first reading, but we've received some comments in the last few days. So what I'm asking for you guys is to allow us to push this to the first reading in May, the first board meeting in May, so that we can research these issues and then come back and prepare a document where everybody has an opportunity to express their concerns. We can research those concerns and then give you some proper feedback. So that when we give you that, we've listened, we've prepared, and we give you some feedback to see a clean version.
Okay.
Good with everybody? Okay, I don't think we need a motion to proceed there. We will just
So
put this on.
what'll happen is we'll have we'll start out. First
Correct.
reading
Yes,
will be
sir.
in May, second reading after that with public hearing, and third reading possibly with public hearing.
Yes, sir.
Yep,
When you,
everybody.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
When you provide some information, how many assemblies would qualify 50 plus a year?
You want us to look back and see how many that
Yeah.
we've had? Okay. You can pull that.
Any other specific questions or things that y'all want to make sure he includes? Okay, thank you, Chief. All right, next is to request permission to approve a parade assembly permit for Stronger Together Oxford to host a volunteer appreciation event on April 21st from 2 until 6 p.m.
Yes, ma'am. So this one will be in the Pocket Park. No issues on our end.
All right, could I have a motion?
Move we approve.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to approve a parade assembly permit for Stronger Together Oxford to host the Sustainable Spring Tulip Take-Home event on April 10th from 8 a.m. until we run out of tulips, or to end at 3 p.m.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, Mark Levy, request permission to accept the vending machine request for proposal and enter into a contract with A&C Ventures for annual vending services at City Hall and the Animal Resource Center.
So we only received one proposal. It's for A&C Ventures for 2 vending machines on city property. The one, the contracts are for a 3-year term, but we can cancel it at any time for any reason with a 90-day notice. So we'll receive a monthly check of 5% for the items purchased. And one machine will be located in the basement at the base of the elevator. The other will be at the ARC. So we're just recommending approval.
All right. Do we have any questions, or is there a motion?
Move we approve. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to accept bids for landscape maintenance for select public right-of-ways. Mark?
We had good response on our right-of-way cutting project. We received 5 bids this year, which is up 3 from last year. And we've expanded the program over the past several years. We started with around 14 properties. We're now at nearly 70 properties. The low bid was Creekmore Landscape with an annual price at $100,553.76. So we are requesting permission to accept the bids.
Move we approve.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to award a contract to Creekmore Landscape for right-of-way maintenance.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that was quick. I'll ask the board to consider an executive session.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? The board will now consider an executive session. Thank you.